What's cooking, Gumbo Nation? You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio, and I'm your host, Dwayne Stein, the Gulf South Mortgage Authority. And if you want to join the show, 504-260-0995, or you can shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. If you're new to the show, welcome. Glad to have you here. Welcome to the home show. 7+ years of providing education and options to folks just like you on your most valuable asset, your home. And we like to affectionately call our listeners and folks that do business with us, you're part of the Gumbo Nation, so we welcome you. So again, hey, if you want to join the show, 260-0995, or shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. Super happy to have my guest host back with me this week, because I know he's got a bunch of questions lined up that he's been perusing the Gumbo Nation inbox, and then Parker's Power was out last week. So, Parker, great to have you back, man. Everything okay, obviously, huh? What happened last week, man? Times are tough, not paying the bill over there in East Texas?
Well, it's an internet outage, and it's funny because when you move out to the absolute middle of nowhere, you still have to connect with the 56K modem. It does the wee.
Really?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It's a little less reliable than it is when you're in a major metropolitan area like New Orleans, because even if you're on the North Shore, they still have a more robust infrastructure system than out here in BFE.
Gotcha. So good. So everything's back. You're rocking and rolling. Awesome to have you back. A lot going on right now, Parker, and I know we're going to talk about, I know President Biden liked to say we're at zero inflation. We are not. We are not at zero inflation, folks. We're still at all-time highs, so we'll talk about that. And really, when we get to Rate Watch, brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka, we will discuss really just the confusion right now on what's going on with rates, right? It was really starting to put everything into perspective. They were getting a gauge on inflation. They were trying to temper demand, making prices go up so that way supply kind of slows, it can catch up. And then, lo and behold, we get this crazy jobs report, which I don't know. I mean, it's hard to it's hard to trust in these days the different things that are going on, and all of a sudden, we get 300,000 more jobs than what was expected. So, well, that kind of sent things where we were sitting there hanging out. Everything was good. We were moving in the right direction, and then bam, spiked rates up. So rates are right back to where they were. Again, in a place that everybody, I think, is coming to grips with. Those who want to buy or buying. And I know we have plans to talk about why. To me, it's almost in 30 years of doing this, and I talked to several realtors this week, you can't say it's hard to say, okay, it's a buyer's or a seller's market, right? When you want to buy a home, you're going to buy a home. And we've said for years on this show, and before I was doing this show, a home, an appraisal is something you get. But at the end of the day, Gumbo Nation and Parker, a house is worth what somebody is willing to pay for it. That's why the last couple years we had people, it wasn't just like selling, LA and selling, Beverly Hills, where people are like asking 2.4 and bought it for $3 million. We were seeing that here locally across the Gulf South because people were like, hey, I'm going to pay more. And that's because people have better credit scores. Wages have been up. Now, right now, as much money as you're making, it's all going to gas, which is down, which did cause inflation to not go up like so many, including myself, was expecting. They know what they're doing. They're pulling the plugs where they need to. And I think we're going to see some more. If I had to bet, we're 90 days away from midterms. Probably going to see a little bit more charity coming out. Gas prices probably going to get a little bit better. And we'll take that. But when it comes to purchasing a home, keep that in mind. And maybe that's something we need to kind of chat about, discuss. A house is worth what you're willing to pay. So that's why I circle back and say, Parker, it's kind of a perfect storm. Sellers have to understand, if anybody missed the boat, right? How many times have we had to answer the question, did I miss the boat? If anybody missed the boat, it's those who didn't sell their home the last 2 years, not buyers. Would you agree there, James?
Well, it's just something that comes up on the show constantly in the last 8 years, because people are always licking their finger and sticking in the wind and seeing which way it's blowing. Is it a buyer's market and a seller's market? And we're in the rare instance right now where I would say it's pretty balanced.
Yes.
And that's a good thing for both sides. You know, it'd be nice if you had the advantage of absolutely skyrocketing housing prices if you're selling. But if you do sell, you got to turn around and live somewhere. So what are you going to do? Go rent an apartment now? Or are you going to buy another house because it's an inflated price? You know, so there's a sting for both the buyers and the sellers market, because in most transactions, you are going to be a buyer and then a seller, or maybe both at the same time, like a contingency loan or whatever. So you don't really want it to be too hard on either side of the pendulum, because if it breaks up either the buying or selling of your house, you know, your life is stuck. You most of the time when you move, it's because you have to. So the balance is probably a good thing, grease in the wheels for people who are going from one house to another. And they'll probably appreciate this a little bit more, because they're not going to get burnt or score on either end.
Absolutely. And I think this is a good thing. We were seeing houses that in my 30 years would have definitely made the wall of shame. Some of these houses that were being bought at $180, $200 a square foot, that you go, ooh, I don't even know if I would put that in my old tree house I had and feel safe. And yet that's what we were seeing. So now here's another word, right? You know, you got to love our industry. This week, Redfin put out an article. So I want to read this. This is the word. The word is called stale. So when you hear me say stale, let me explain what that is. Redfin defines stale as a home that has been sitting on the market for 30 days or more. Now, keep in mind, this was unheard of, right? Unheard of the last 2 years. But now the last 90 days, and this is what I'm explaining, that's what's crazy about this industry. It's not, well, I didn't have to do that in the past. Heck, there's stuff you got to do now you didn't have to do 120 days ago.
Right.
Right? I mean, it's changing. So from Redfin, while homes are still flying off the market at a record pace, again, hence seller's advantage, right? From Redfin here, the share of homes listed for at least 30 days without going under contract has grown by 12.5% year over year in July. That's a big number, James.
Oh, yeah.
61.2% of for sale homes stayed on the market for 30 days or longer, up from 54% in July of 21. So this is the number of new listings hitting in July was actually down 6%. But the total number of homes up for sale was 4. This is supply and demand. This is a perfect example of it, right? So the number of new listing is down, but overall listings up going for homes for sale is up. Because right now, who's selling their house? Divorce, death, job reload. Period. Unless you've been in your home for 40 years and you have no note, maybe those people fall in. But for the other, whatever percentage of folks that bought the last 2 years, you're not. You are not selling right now because you're going to wait for that next wave. Or heck, you know what you're going to do? This house that you thought maybe it'll be my starter home, you got to make a lot of decisions when you go, okay, sweetheart, do we want to sell this home? And you stare in at your rate and it's screaming 2.75.
Well, you're describing the position that you put me in at the beginning of this year. I got a 2.95% mortgage rate. Imagine how calcified I am in my position. It would take a lot to get me to move. There could be a great house that's twice the size that opens up next door, and I'm like, I don't know, man. What's the price on it? So it's got me in that mindset already. Because if I jump out of this, I'm going to go into what, a 5% mortgage. Well, that's a big difference on the monthly note.
Tremendous difference. Or do you? So this is what's going to be down the road, and we'll be talking about this next summer and years down the road. Do I keep this home? And if I can afford it, now I go buy an investment property, right? Because now I'm looking at, that's where you're going to see that game change down the road.
Well, speaking of, comment on this Facebook.
Okay.
Here. This is from Jeff. He says only people who had properties other than their primary residence benefited from selling in the last 12 months. Anyone with only a primary residence was simply jumping out of the frying pan into the fire.
He's absolutely correct. But here's what I'm telling you on why we're not seeing more houses for sale. James, if you're an investor, unless you need capital to go make another investment, rent is tax-free money. Look at what you're getting on your return on a checking account right now. So to go sell that house, to take that money, now, depending on how many properties you owe, which is a whole nother ball of wax, we could get the great Jude Heath in here to start talking about capital gains and all those things. But if I own property right now, I'm not selling. Again, why inventory's down.
See, I think he's making a good point, because when we bought and sold a house and moved, we ended up with a little chunk of change, and we're thinking about, as soon as we get settled in financially, maybe we'll buy a rental or something with this little pile of money we have on the side. And the math has totally changed on that in the last 8 months, to where it's not nearly as affordable as it was in January. And so
you go out looking for Corvettes, and you go out, and that's what happens to people, right? That's what happens to people. All right, we up against a break. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. Lots to come. We got more questions to answer for you. If you want to join the show, send an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com or give us a call, 504-260-0995.
Bring up Parker's mic.
All right, I can do that. Or wait, Dwayne has to do that on his board.
Yep, I cranked them. What about that, Dave? Dave.
I'm going to
do 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Dave.
I won't know until we come back.
No, I'm repeating you. Yeah, echo. All right, James, let's make sure we tell all our awesome listeners how to join our free webinar when we get back after I hook up the Fence King.
Okay.
Did you see Loan Depot? We could bring this up too. Loan Depot, one of the largest lenders out there.
I don't think I saw this. What'd they do?
They mounting losses forces Loan Depot to amend loan agreements. They're having trouble with the SEC right now. And this is what happens when you got a company that's just blowing and going. And I don't want to get on air and poop all over everybody, but these guys recruit me left and right. And this is why, when you're with a company that is, they're just blowing and go, like, how can it be Loan Depot? You see all the commercials, you see them sponsoring baseball fields and stuff like that. And then you go, I mean, what are you doing with your money?
Are y'all really making this much money? Yeah.
Well, and it just shows you they were just in it for the last 2 years, man. Let's rock and roll. And unfortunately, you know who's going to get screwed here? The folks, they just laid off like 40% of their workforce. The CEOs are rock. They on a helicopter still.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They did great.
Do I
have time to run to the bathroom, Dave?
No, you got 45 seconds.
It'll wait.
Throw the diaper on, bro.
Yeah. You see Suzanne's question there?
Yep. We'll get to that.
Okay.
I guess, Suzanne, what I would ask is, when is it going to get better for?
Save it for the air.
All right. Get excited.
Here we go.
What? Oh! Look out, weekend. We here, baby. It's Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. 504-260-0995. This segment's brought to you by the King, the Fence King. Visit fencethisyard.com/Gumbo Nation. He introduced the virtual fence designer. Then he brought you galvanized posts that can withstand tropical storm winds up to 73 miles per hour. And now the King is beautifying your yard, your security of your yard, with New Orleans-style decorative fencing without the worry of rust, lightweight aluminum, and they are absolutely stunning. So many of my clients are taking advantage of this, and you should too. And the King does no high-pressure sales. Go to his website. Go to fencethisyard.com/Gumbo Nation. Click on the virtual fence designer. Play around. See, hey, if I want to add this aluminum fencing, hey, maybe you just want to do it like a lot of people are doing, the front on the sides of the house, not the whole house. Maybe that's something you want to take advantage of. And all his work comes with a warranty. And he even offers financing. Visit fencethisyard.com. fencethisyard.com.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. All right, so we've got a question here from Suzanne on when is it gonna get better. So, Suzanne, if you could kind of maybe give me a little bit more. What are you looking for as far as interest rates go, home pricing? Let me know how hard I got to shake the crystal ball for you, and I will get you that answer. But Parker, what I want to talk about right now, and for all my amazing listeners, is we are here for you, right? And this is something, Suzanne, hey, you may want to attend this Tuesday. It's free. You only have to be a member of the Gumbo Nation Facebook group. So go to Facebook, join the Gumbo Nation Facebook group. There's an imposter out there. So the one that you want to join is the one with the welded skyline of New Orleans, the one that's got like 1.3 thousand followers. Because this Tuesday from 6 to 7, we're going to be doing a virtual home buying webinar. Virtual. So from the comfort of your own home, crack yourself a beer, pour yourself a glass of vino, sit back in your boxers, unwind, unbuckle your belt, make yourself a TV dinner, and get ready for some greatness. We are going to let you know what programs do you possibly qualify for. We touch on credit a little bit, but we got that the following week we'll talk about. And then we're going to teach you how to figure out what your buying power is. Folks, it's not hard to become a home buyer. You just need to work with people who take pride in you, who put you first and not personal profits. And we will teach you about that. And it's absolutely free. Again, I'm doing this for my members. It's exclusive when you're a member of the Gumbo Nation. We just did an event a couple weeks ago on how to do a personal budget. I can't tell you how many people are thanking me over that. So that's where cool stuff happens in the Gumbo Nation Facebook group. So go make sure you become a member there.
Well, the home buying webinar is crucial if it's the first time you're going through this process, because there's a whole lot of little steps and paperwork and reports and appraisals and terms that you just don't know. And there wasn't a class for it in high school. There wasn't a class for it in college, really.
Right.
Yeah. So you don't want to just walk into all this stuff and have to figure it out blindly in real time. I mean, Dwayne will help you through the process, but you would like to know. So when you get to that step in the process, you don't have to go do some new reading. You can just make a clear decision.
Absolutely. And that's where we break down. I mean, you know how many first-time home buyers? Heck, it's embarrassing to say, you know how many realtors don't know that the seller can pay closing costs? We let you know that. We let you know what programs. We give you the whys, because so many people are always like, this program or that program, or maybe they were told the most popular one out there is this. We're looking to see if you have a first-time home buyer program. There is no such thing. There is no such thing. What a first-time home buyer gets is the same thing that a person who hasn't bought or sold a home in 3 years gets, and that is 3% down on a conventional mortgage. That's it. So if you're going FHA, a first-time home buyer, don't go from putting down 3.5% to 1%. They don't go from a RD or VA loan, not having to put anything down, to we'll give you money.
Well, I'm floored about the stories you have where people go and they shop for a house and they go through the I don't know, it's the rigmarole. It's necessary, but it's just long and it's time consuming, where you got to do all kinds of walkthroughs, and you don't like this one because the neighbors or something. You got to find another house. And then after you go through all that process and you start to negotiate with the person, come to an agreement. I mean, all this huge process only to turn out they don't even qualify for that much in the first place. I can't believe people would waste their time going through all that without knowing, but apparently it happens.
That is what's called a pre-qualification, which is, there's three things, and I'm glad you bring that up. There's three things when you're looking at buying a home. There's the person that goes, I want to go look at the house, and the agent goes, call this guy and get a letter. That's a pre-qualification. No application. Basically, James says, I make $500,000 a year, qualify me. Then you've got a pre-approval. Now, here's where it gets touchy, because there's several types of pre-approvals, just like there's several loans. So I'm going to give you what the difference is right now. There's a pre-approval. Every quality lender has, they use what's called desktop underwriting. What that means is there's two types. There's DU, right? And there's LP for Freddie Mac. So what that is that's a system that you go into. Now, with me at Mortgage Gumbo, we are a direct lender to them, so we have zero overlays. Whereas James Lending may go run something in DU, but his lender may still require you to get, where mine says, hey, they've been at their job 5 years, we got a W-2, we're good. James Lending, because they're not a direct seller to them, may have to go still get 2 years of taxes or something like that. So that is a pre-approval.
Are you saying this is because you're lending your own money?
Yeah, well, not only am I lending my own money, we are in such good standing with the GSEs, the government service entities, which is Fannie Mae and Freddie, that they trust, they know we've proven to them with our hundreds of thousands of loans we've sold to them over the years that our stuff's quality. There's not a high default rate. So they want Mortgage Gumbo's loans. They beg us for them. So that is a pre-approval. Or if James sends me over and goes, hey, I'm going to look at houses tomorrow with agent X. Here's my check stubs. Here's this and that. And you look over it, a lender may call that a pre-approval. What we do is, and we do it in the same amount of time as everybody else, we do what's called a fast track. That's our personal name for it here, but it's credit approved. So what that means, listeners, is we look at your credit. We look at your credit. We see everything, and it goes in front of an investor. So when you're going out and making that offer, you have a certificate that basically says you have been underwritten, approved. A listing agent knows what that means and goes, oh, yeah, this is good. Then you throw in, like Realtor Denise called last week, that golden ticket where we're giving everybody that's credit approved with us gets a $5,000 guarantee when they go make an offer. That if we don't close that loan on time, we pay that seller $5,000. So that's the three: pre-qualification, pre-approved, and credit approved. But please, don't be fooled if your lender says, we ran your credit and your score's good. That does not mean credit approved. When we say credit approved, an underwriter looked at your file and has an investor that says for the next 120 days, if nothing changes for this person, they're good. Go give them a house. All right, Susan, good question here. Do you have to get pre-approved if you're using a VA loan? Absolutely. Because if you're not, how do you know what size house to go look at? How do you know what your max buying power is? Right? So absolutely, there is not a loan out there that you don't want to get pre-approved. And I know people are listening going, I make a lot of money. I got an 810 credit score. Awesome. Get pre-approved. What I would say there is don't go look at, then it should be easy for you. Then I'll have you knocked out in less than 24 hours if it's that easy. Don't go look at I've yet to find somebody that goes and looks at a $300,000 house and comes to me after their lender told them they were approved and they get turned down, and I tell them they got to go buy 175. They just don't like the $175,000 houses, Parker, as much as the 300. Nor do I want you looking at 175 if I can show you how to buy 300,000. And I want to talk more about that and how we're doing that on the other side of the break, James.
All right, you're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein. Some of these questions you're hearing are from people on social media following the video right now, or you can do the old-fashioned way where you actually call Dave in the studio, 504-260-0995. We'll be right back.
So what's crazy is, and this is a little off-air topic. We'll do rate watch when we get back, but I want to touch on that a little bit, James, what we were just talking about. The pre-approval stuff? Yeah.
All right, now I have to go to the bathroom.
Yep. Great question, Suzanne. What's up, Wendy Benedetto? Thanks for hanging out. Agent extraordinaire. Love working with Wendy. Captain Charlie Thomason hanging out. My man. And my mom. My mom and dad. I know you're sitting there listening, hanging out. Thank you.
Back
To life, back to reality.
I'm back. Oh, man. Right before Dave, I had the song in my head, and then he back to. Now I can't get that out of my.
Backstreet's back.
No.
Back to life, back to reality.
Back. All right, hey, we got to throw out this my boy looking for Luke contest. And I'll answer that question and then rate watch.
Hey, you still have TeamViewer on that studio laptop, right?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some time this week to go in there and change some of your graphics.
All right.
It's nothing big. It's just
this shirt is bleached. So if that's looking bad, I mean the thing with yeah, no, that's fine with me. I'm game with that.
It's not an insult. It's just you can't use primary colors for your letters and stuff. And
yeah. I'm just a talent, James.
I know
I'm just a talent, man.
I'm not very good at such things, but I've learned them all the hard way.
10 seconds.
Thank you, Dave. Hey, what are you doing on the Weekend Geek?
Hold on.
What? Dude. D Squared is killing it right now. Welcome back. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. 504-260-0995. If you got any questions, you can call that number or shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. If this is your first time listening, welcome. If you've been listening, keep telling everybody about Mortgage Gumbo. The listenership continues to skyrocket, and excited to be partnered up with WNOE. Looking for Luke contest. Here's how you enter. I have a cutout of old Luke hanging out at my office here at 801 Girard Street in Mandeville. He's in the window. You come by, you take a selfie with Luke. You go to Instagram at 1011 WNOE and put hashtag looking for Luke. Get the opportunity to win seats to his upcoming concert on 8/27 at the Smoothie King. He's got a catalog on CD, autographed guitar by Luke himself, and a T-shirt. Luke was supposed to be over here at Mortgage Gumbo working this weekend, doing a little training, but he had a little accident last week at the theme park. So we're hoping to have him in this week. I told him, look, I'm not just going to throw out hashtag looking for Luke and to all my peeps and you not getting a game.
All right. Can I tell you a Luke Bryan trick?
Yeah.
All right. So if you want to do the Luke Bryan voice, if you want to do an impression of Luke Bryan, it's Kermit the Frog with a Georgia accent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because everyone can do the Kermit the Frog because it's just sort of that falsetto and
Yeah.
back of your throat kind of.
Yeah.
So you do the same thing for Luke Bryan, but you give Kermit the Frog a southern accent.
So it's like, come by the Mortgage Gumbo Studios on Girard Street.
That's
Nice.
like that's how he sings too.
That's
Country
nice.
girl, shake it for me.
I like that. Yeah. Shake it.
It's the same thing. You can pull that out at the parties you go to this weekend. Your new Luke Bryan impression is just Kermit the Frog with a drawl.
Love it.
Oh, and I love that cardboard cutout, dude. That is so funny how you were doing the show with him last week in like a side-by-side screen.
Yeah.
And I thought you were gonna have Jeff like on the mic off camera doing a Luke Bryan voice. That would have been
no.
we can make that happen now.
No, I will. We may have to work on that. So look,
And
we're answering Susan's question, and then after we finish this, let's knock out Rate Watch, brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka when we finish this question up. So one of the things when we're talking about Susan X, do you have to get pre-approved if you're using a VA loan? And I said, yes, you should be pre-approved for everything. And here's the thing, and I'm going to say it again, and this again is what we're going to talk about on Tuesday at our home buying webinar. Okay. And you just got to be a member of the Gumbo Nation Facebook group. So if you're not, go on to Facebook group, go on to Facebook and send in a request to be added. But right now, more important for Suzanne and Suzanne, for all those listeners, it's making sure that your lender has, or more importantly, knows how to put you in the right program. Because so many folks right now, they're thinking the rates are high, so these lenders are charging them points to try to get the rate lower. That's what happens when you have nincompoops, a.k.a. schmuckatellis, who don't know what they're doing, and you're going to them, right? And that's what's unfortunate. So it's important to know I show people how to get more house with less money. Because I can't put you in a home that you can't afford, number one, but I'm going to make sure that I also am showing you how to get in with less. You know, and if you're new to the show, great. One of the things you're always going to hear me talking about is cash is king. And that serves purpose more now than ever. And that's why it's important for me to make sure we break down for you. And we're doing the fast track approvals. There is nothing worse. You feel rejected if you lose out on an offer. You want to feel even worse? Get the offer and find out you don't qualify. After you've spent appraisal money, inspection money, and then your lender comes back and uses the old cop-out, the underwriter didn't know. That's hogwash. That's a smuckatelli. And that means you got smuckatellied. The reason everybody loves that word is it could be a noun, a verb, adverb, adjective, whatever it is. Use it in a sentence. I got smuckatellied. My realtor's a smuckatelli. My lender's a smuckatelli. I feel like a smuckatelli because I don't know that. So those are the things there. So it's working with the program. That's what this first-time home buying webinar is going to show. So, hey, all my realtors out there that are listening, even you lenders, hey, have you folks go join the Gumbo Nation, and we'll teach them a few things. In one short hour, they're going to know everything that it takes to have the benefit of home ownership. Let's get into our weekly segment we like to call Rate Watch. Rate Watch is brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. It's America's first handcrafted vodka. It's absolutely delicious. I highly recommend it with either water. You could do a little splash of, no, not even going to mention them because they don't sponsor me. So, but Tito's with a little bit of water or a little bit of a soda with a splash of cranberry. Just oh so delicious on the palate. We always tell everybody, drink responsibly. 30-year conventional loan, 5.33. Last week it was 5.45. Again, why are we getting people credit approved and fast track approved? Because if you were in a spot this week where you went and looked at houses and you got under contract, you got a little bit of a better rate. 15-year, 4.80 is at 4.65. FHA stayed the same at 4.75. Jumbo is at 4.75. And 5-1 arm, 5.5. Yeah, go get you one of those. I'm helping a client out right now that I'm going to do a reverse mortgage on. The gentleman is 97. The wife is 81. And the company that helped him, it rhymes with Mace Bank, was nice enough to put this 97-year-old gentleman in 2020 in a nice 2-year arm. Nice 2-year adjustable rate. So instead of giving him So didn't pay off all his debt. And so instead of paying off all his debt, and they probably, the schmuckatellis over there who aren't licensed, they probably just went and gave him that because, I don't know, maybe they didn't want to bring it to their underwriters and go, hey, at 125, he's going to be paid in full. So they gave him a nice look. So now debt's runneth. You can imagine at 97, everything's not clicking like it should be. So now, luckily, they have a ton of equity. We're going to give them a reverse mortgage, a ton of cash, and let them live comfortably for the rest of their life. Instead of now they're worried because their mortgage payment's about to go up $450 a month. It's sickening what some of these folks do. Those are schmuckatellis.
Well, you had a post on the Mortgage Gumbo Facebook feed this week that was talking about older buyers and how they have a different experience than younger buyers. I've only bought 2 houses, but it sounded different than both of my experiences. And like one of the big differences is once you get past age 57, almost everyone who's going to buy a house is going to do some sort of home customization project, and like a renovation or add a room or wall up a garage. They're so much more likely to have to customize their home because they can afford it, because they're more particular about their taste, or because they have sort of health needs. They need to put in a ramp or some handlebars or things like that. And I just didn't even think about how the home buying process changes as we get older.
And that's why anybody, when they come to me, 55 or older, it's a 2-part question. All right, so let me finish up rate-wise. The 5-1 on 5.5, that's higher than any of the fixed rates. So you'd be a nincompoop. But then what these schmuckatellis are doing is they're having you buy a couple points so you can get that, and they'll go, hey, we can get you to 4.95, and you hear 4s, and you go, okay, great. And then VA right now is in the mid-4s. So here's the 2-part. And again, this is why you need somebody that actually cares and listens and wants to know what your game plan is. Once somebody's 55 or older and they come to me, it becomes a 2-part question. Number 1, are you in your forever home? Because at 33, you don't know. But now, are you in your forever home? Then, on top of that, what are your future plans? Do you have when are you looking to retire? Because now we're starting to look at, guess what happens at 62, James? Reverse.
Social Security. Oh, reverse
Mortgages. So now you're eligible, right? So now we're going to I'm a mortgage advisor. I'm not a dude that just goes and pushes paper. Oh, yeah, you qualify. See ya. Now what we're doing is we're going, all right, hey, let's look at this. At 55, let's maybe look at, if we do a 30-year term, you get a cheap payment, but let's look at where you're going to be at 65 years old, 10 years down the road, and we'll do a projections, and we go, just know that a reverse mortgage at that point may be an option for you. So this mortgage, now we're going to get rid of it. It's not a 30-year note. We're just giving you a 30-year amortization. We're going to pay your note off, and here's how much equity you're going to have at that point. But right now, we'll do this loan. We'll refinance it. We'll give you the cash that you want. So that's why a lot of my refinances I'm doing right now, they're not worried about this proverbial boat out there. That's the difference between a lender that takes it personal for you and asks those next questions. So people that are coming to me right now with credit card debt, kids' student loan debt, now they're coming. They're not worried about what the rate is, the 6%, the 5.75, the whatever it is. You know why? Because now we've got a plan. And the debt that we're paying off, saving them $300 or $400 a month right now, and they're going to come back and see me, and we've got a plan for 7 to 10 years to do a reverse mortgage. And then we're going to eliminate it altogether. So that's where reverse mortgage right now, you know who's struggling more? You know who has the most equity than anybody right now, James? It's the boomers. The baby boomers. But you know what? They're house rich and cash poor because those Christmas bonuses aren't coming in anymore. and you're living off of that Social Security, that pension, client this week, it's not stretching like it was. They've had to go back into it because gas is more. Prices are up. So you need to work with somebody that looks at your entire picture, not what have you done for me lately? Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I've been in business 30 years, and I plan on being in business a lot longer, so I'll be around. Hey, you're listening to Mortgage Gumbo. We got a segment left. If you want to join the show, 504-260-0995. See, in my mind, Parker, in my mind, I'm like one of the, man, what was the In Living Color dances when I'm doing that? Yeah.
Fly girls.
Fly girls.
Yeah.
Paula Abdul.
Yeah. In my mind, when I'm doing that, last week went out with the guys. We got
Paula Abdul was not a fly girl. Jennifer Lopez was a fly girl.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
That's right.
Paula Abdul was a Laker girl.
But last week, me and a couple friends, and it took me till Tuesday to recover.
You went to
call it a supper club, men's supper club. We're all over 40-something years old. Went over to rented a van, had a driver, went over to the Bow. Local band was playing, ironically. The game plan was to go, everybody cow up, and we were just going to shut the Bow down. We were going to close it down that night. We went and had dinner at a local restaurant in Biloxi. We were going to go to the Bow. We figured enough's enough. Let's shut it down. The band was so great. We're partying in the club. And I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, where's that dance club that used to be here? He's like, that's now the poker room and the MGM, where the players, where you go and make all your bets, right? The betting room. Sportsbook. So I'm like, golly. I said, how long that's been? He goes, probably about 8 years. I'm like, that's how good of a time I had last time. It took me that long to get back here. But so we went in that little dance thing right when you go in. And brother, I was on fire. I mean, and when the train gets going,
10 seconds.
The moves that I was doing was amazing.
Dance
Sweat was flying. It was on. Oh.
Give me a hoe if
Don't double dutch it.
funky bus fare.
Welcome back. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. 504-260-0995, or you can shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. Listen, we've got a lot of great events. This Tuesday, we have the home buying webinar coming up. Next Tuesday, we have the credit webinar, all about credit webinar. The best thing for you to do, it's very simple. Go to mortgagegumbo.com, click on resources, then events, and sign up. It tells you exactly what it has, exactly how to enroll, get on, whatever it's called. What am I looking for, Jay? How to
sign up, register,
sign up, attend. So enlist. Hey, this segment's brought to you by Homeshine MD. We make house calls. These folks are on fire. On fire. And if you mention Mortgage Gumbo, 10% off any of your home services. Go outside when the show's over, when you pull up. Look up at your roof. It's ugly. You might even have grass, trees growing out of it, your gutters, everything. Does it look sickly? Call the doctor. Homeshine MD. Get your home a checkup. It's a free quote. Visit homeshinemd.com. Give your home the facelift it deserves and protect it. May even add value during these times.
Well, look, when you're selling a house, you want to get it clean.
Yep.
And, you think, well, what idiot can't clean a house? Well, this idiot can't, because I got a power washer and I sprayed off the driveway. And while I was I was like, well, the mortar between the bricks looks a little grimy. It's kind of getting black. So I'm like, I'll just power wash that. And I power washed a bunch of mortar right out from between the bricks and had to get it fixed. And so,
right. Well, and here's the thing. We do the soft wash, Parker. That's what you got to understand. We soft wash it. It's like handling a baby's bottom. When we leave out of there, it's nice. Everything looks good. It smells fresh. Parker, do you know that when we clean houses, you can choose, do you want cherry scent, lemon scent? I know that's ridiculous. I love the smell of bleach. But,
Right.
Right? I love it. I'm like, all right,
chemical sting.
house is clean. But listen, I'm telling you now, go to homeshinemd.com. They'll get you a quote. They're doing some great stuff, even if you're thinking about listing your home. All right. What were we talking about?
Well, we were just talking about the whole lot of stuff going on. You plugged the webinar that's coming up. It's this Tuesday, right? The first
This
one is
Tuesday's the home buying. Next Tuesday,
next
the
Tuesday's the
23rd, is the credit.
The other thing you got going on right now is the
Luke Bryan
contest.
Yeah.
You go. You have to stop by the office, take a selfie with the Luke Bryan cutout, and put it to WNOE's Instagram.
Yep.
And so, okay, that's all the business we got covered. We were talking about
We
buyers.
paid the bills there. We just paid the bills, as they say.
Yeah, the buyers 55 plus have different home buying experience. If we totally covered all that, then we can move on.
We're good.
All right. So the next thing is, it was kind of on Susan's questions earlier when you're going through the beginning of the home buying process, and I know you're going to cover this in the webinar, so we could probably give away a little bit of the sauce.
Okay.
Of the 1 hours of content, but just list through real quick the home buying programs, because I think some people, myself included, think there's probably like 10, 12 different programs, and it's just a jumble you got to go through. No, there's only like 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you basically have the government programs are VA, which only one way to qualify for that, right? So when I go, hey, James, great to hear from you. Here's how the questions go. Number 1, are you a veteran? Nobody ever, and I laugh, and it kind of is an icebreaker. James, are you a veteran? Nobody ever goes, heck no, I ain't no vet. You know what they go? No. I'm like, I know, I was scared too. Right? Like,
I didn't even serve in the KISS Army.
Yeah, like I didn't have the moxie. I didn't have, they didn't drop low enough for that. So I asked that. Second question I'm going to ask is, how much money you make? Because now I'm looking at, because what? Cash is king, right? And if I could get you into a house at 0%, that's our other option. So if you're not a veteran with 0% down, now I'm looking at rural development. But there's some income restrictions. Then the third program that they have is FHA. That's insured by the federal government. And then there's conventional. That's it. Any other programs are within those 4, let's call it this. And I got to get in a better habit of it. Those are your 4 loan types. Then within those types, we got programs, right? So your 4 loan types are VA, FHA, USDA, RD, conventional, right? Then you get into, well, there's jumbo. Now, that's a loan program within the conventional loan type, right? So those are the different things. And then FHA goes up to a certain amount. So if you go buy a house that's over whatever that number is, 500 and something thousand now, then you got to go into a conventional loan. So that's what it is. So that's where it's important for you to know. And somebody right now is going, FHA is not 500 something. I know. I know what the numbers are. We're not going to get into the breakdowns of each one. We'll do that when we talk on the webinar Tuesday. But that's what's important. So my job's to look at and go, all right, Parker, we're only going to be in this house for 3 years max. Maybe you moved here and you signed a 3-year contract and with a company and you're going to be here for 3 years.
2 minutes.
Or for a fact, you're going to be having a family. So the 3-bedroom, 2-bath isn't going to work because you've already got 1 child or 2 kids. Well, then we're going to look at, how do we get this house the cheapest possible, in it for the least amount, so that home, no matter what size, whether it's an $80,000 home or an $8 million home, you have busted your rear end for it. And my job when you hire me is to make sure that I help you show that home you worked hard for it, let it work for you. So let's put down the lowest amount possible if you can afford it, and then go from there. People going, oh, well, then you have PMI. No, you don't. That's a schmuckatelli talking to you, because we could show you how to buyout PMI with 3% down. So those are the things that I want folks to understand. That's what we're going to be covering in the webinar on Tuesday.
Real quick, how do you qualify for an FHA?
FHA, you call any credit score. Now they're going to say, hey, 500 scores or above. FHA, it's 3.5% down. A little bit more lenient. We're doing credit scores up to 55% on FHA. Got one approved this week at 58%. So FHA is a program. Yeah, we'll get into that. Go to Gumbo Nation Tuesday, become a fan, and then we can you'll be part of that program. Parker, have a great week. Thank you. Go check out Mortgage Gumbo Dad Cam, Snap, Send, and Save Dad Cam. And until next week, Gumbo Nation, keep stirring the pot. Bye. Yay.
Clear.
All right,
Thank
KG.
Yeah, I'm getting. Y'all know I was getting echo the whole show, right? And I think the music was feeding back on me too.
All right, let us know. Parker, were you able to record it? Can you send it to Dave if need be?
No, I got it.
Okay.
It's fine.
Well, it
But
worked.
that's why I was turning the music down quickly.
Well, you were on fire with your selections today, son.
Supersonic.
Freakazoid, robots, please report to the dance floor.
All right, y'all. And we got the Saints tonight. Whoop, whoop.
Oh, that's right. We didn't
You
mention
do?
that.
I'm wearing my Taysom Hill jersey.
There you go.
Yeah, hi, Denise. Denise says hi.
What's up, Denise?
She says you are not clear. We're clear of the radio signal. We know we're still streaming, Denise.
Yeah, we're
This is a
still,
post
yeah.
show.
Yep.
Bonus segment.
Yeah, you're getting a little
Party.
Gumbo after dark.
So how late did you stay up at the Beau Rivage? We didn't get the end of that story.
Got home at 5:30.
Jesus Christ.
Got home at 5:30 and could not remember my usually my garage doors open. So I get into my garage and go into my garage door. Don't know how. Got locked. Could not remember the code. I can't say I don't remember because that's not good. My son decided to change the code on the front lock because I never use it, but that's what he uses when I go to sleep at night. So get home at 5:30. Sun's coming up. Not feeling the best. Can't get in my house. Let's just say I had to go through a little shoulder therapy this week because walked around to the back door, didn't work. Walked around to the second garage door, all locked, which that would have just got me right back in. So I had to I went Chalmette football, son.
You shimmy through a window, huh? Bathroom window?
No. None of them were open.
He knocked it down.
I went through the door, son. And then I had to be a carpenter the next day.
Why did you do that?
I went through it, bro.
Oh my God.
left it open for squirrels, whatever would have gotten the garage for those 5 hours I was looking at the back of my eyelids. Everything that belonged to my house was available.
So you shouldered in your own door.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, at 51, bro, it ain't like it was when I was wearing old number 57 for the Owls, brother. But in my mind at that point, it looked like a Jesuit or a Holy Cross running back coming at me. I'm like, oh, I'm going to kill him. I was disappointed it took 3 smacks to get through, though. That's where I was like, you know what? I got to get back in shape. I need, at this point in life, this has got to be a one-timer. But the first one, I ruined 3 credit cards because on the movies they make it. Yeah, in the movies it's easy, bro.
Well, not if it's dead bolted. I could do it if it's not dead bolted.
No, it wasn't a deadbolt. It was a normal deal. So I thought, I've done it before, but I was in the wrong section. Yeah, the other times I wasn't Tito's wasn't sponsoring me. Let's just leave it at that at those other times.
Luckily,
So,
I rented a van.
Parker, what a great drink that you're having right now, because not many people appreciate Dr. Pepper. And my grandmother, may she rest in peace, and my awesome Aunt Cynthia, who taught me how to drive, and I destroyed my grandmother's car when my Aunt Cynthia taught me how to drive, and she took the rap. We used to drink what was called Mr. Pibb, which was Dr. Pepper.
Mr. Pibb? Yeah.
It was
Coke
it was the Pepsi of Coke.
Right.
So it was the Pepsi of
I
Dr.
thought
Pepper.
you said your grandma did flaming Dr. Pepper
No,
for a minute.
she may have. She may have back in the day.
Certainly did.
Yeah, I know my Aunt
Dr.
Cynthia
Pepper,
did.
but Dr. Pepper was invented in Waco and is the dominant soda around here. Like more Dr. Pepper is drank in my town than Coke. And Pepsi's distant memory. It's like RC Cola. It's like, yeah, I see the commercials for it sometimes, but I don't know what the hell that is.
Now, RC Cola, the last time I saw that was years ago at the Pelicans, the Smoothie King.
Still a thing.
They must have had a contract with RC Cola.
Who the hell has a contract?
Dude, that shows you they'll take money from anybody.
I think Coke
Right.
bought
And then
RC
it's
Cola.
Diet Right is the diet soda.
That's it. Diet Right. Yeah, that's their is that RC Cola? That's their diet side of Dave? Dave, what's up this week on the Weekend Geek, dude? What famous person you're resuscitating this week that you're bringing to the Weekend Geek?
I got Cassidy Cassidy and Clark Freeman. They did this old movie, it's 10 years old, Yellow Brick Road. It's an old horror flick, but Cassidy Freeman is in The Righteous Gemstones with Danny McBride.
Oh, which one is she? Which one is she?
About that.
Which one is she in The Righteous Gemstones?
She's Danny McBride's wife.
Oh, dude, awesome show.
Yeah. And then I got next week I got Emil Hirsch, who was in Speed Racer, that reboot like 20 years ago or whatever. But he's also in The Girl Next Door, the one where he's like the neighbor of the stripper, and that's a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emil Hirsch. That's next week.
I mean, that's pretty cool, right?
Dude, I had the Big Show last week or 2 weeks ago.
The wrestler?
And then last week I had Miss Pelican State, who's a TikToker. She's got 1.4 million followers. She and I did a reel where we're doing like this can kicking thing in front of the iHeart logo in the elevator up here on the 3rd floor, and it's got 200,000 views now, I think, at this point.
Great job, bro.
Good job.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I was like, you need to be in the studio. I don't think they've officially lifted the lockdown, but get your TikTok ass in here.
That is amazing. What about, wait, did you say the Big Show, the wrestler?
Yeah. Paul Wright.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
He's a nerd, dude. I love that. I introduced him. And I never said he was a wrestler. I'm like, all right, let's go to the guest line. A cat lover, Dungeons and Dragons enthusiast, and game show contestant, the Big Show.
Wow.
And he loved it. He goes, dude, you did your homework, man. Like nobody knows that kind of stuff about me. He's like, yeah, I'm a cat dad and I love throwing dice. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, my dad would have killed for that. My dad used to put me, instead of punishing me, he put me in a figure 4 back in the day.
Nice.
And he'd make me, I just had to turn on my belly, right? And then the pain would be inflicted on him, like, the old move there.
To this day, me and my brother always scream, you want to wrestle with me? Because, my brother's 7 years older than me. So when we were growing up, he kicked the crap out of me all the time.
Right.
And one time, I guess he was hurting me bad and I'm screaming so much that my dad got upset and he kicks in the door and he grabs my brother and goes, you want to wrestle with me? And we've been doing it for 40 years now. I've been saying that line.
That is awesome.
All right, guys.
What y'all got the rest of the day?
Nothing. Gregory's doing the best of, so I'm going to actually get out of here in about half an hour, 45 minutes after do your podcast.
Nice.
I
what about you, Parker?
Guinness and Fireball.
Nice.
And Flamin' Dr. Peppers.
I think I'm hanging out with the kids all day, and so it's just back porch drinking.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of living room drinking. It's kind of hot.
I'm going pick up my boat, my fishing boat, my duck hunting boat. Had that fixed, and was smart this year and got it fixed before the season, so I couldn't be mad and be like, "Well, I can't go duck hunting. My boat doesn't run." Right? So go and pick that up. Gonna run that in the lake probably tomorrow, and then that's it, really, man. Not much. I mean, it's nice. No baseball. Gavin and them had their first little scrimmage last night. Was meet the Titans, so that was good. He had his first little scrimmage. He's starting at. They moved him over to cornerback. I mean, from cornerback to safety. They want him to deliver the hammer a little bit. He's got that linebacker mentality. I don't know where he gets that from. So it was good. It's exciting. So so that's what will be going on for the next 10, 12 weeks,
Yeah. Kids are going back to school on Wednesday, so I'll be swamped till Christmas.
Yeah. So, yeah, and he's got 5 honors classes, so he's in for it. Now it's getting real, bro. Your junior year college prep courses, like it's not the old, but they have something called TAP. We didn't have that. TAP is a 30 or 45-minute period during school that it's a free period. You
Where
can
you can change your gender or whatever.
Yeah, you can right. Yeah, no, you can go in there and you get to do your homework and stuff like that. So that's why these kids which I really like, because I think that makes it easier on the parents. You're not coming home with just tons of stuff. So that's pretty cool.
When my kid does that, I don't believe him though. I'm like, show me what you did.
Exactly. Well, look, I don't ask. And he's not stealing money from me, so he's got a 4.3, and I haven't been called by any teachers to say how much you want for this A. So I'm assuming he's doing it, or he's a better salesperson than I am, So whatever it is, we'll take it.
Good deal. All right, guys, I'm going to run.
He strong arm the teachers. You know who my dad is?
Oh, yeah.
He's the mortgage gumbo guy.
One of the teachers asked him that this week. Are you a relation to? He's like, that's my dad. She's like, we love him. Like, tell her to give you an A. I'll send you a hat.
Cool. All right, later, guys.
Gentlemen, thanks as always.